Welcome to the DigiMetaverse Show. I'm your host, Cooper Daniels, and this is your entry into the future of technology. All right, folks, in today's episode, I'm talking to Monty Metzger. He is the founder and CEO of the LCX Exchange. LCX is located in the area that's been dubbed Crypto-Valley. It's right there in Switzerland and Liechtenstein. It is where a lot of things are happening in the crypto world, and LCX is a rapidly growing exchange and player in that area. They are focused on, well, you know, being an exchange, but also regulation, regulated token launches, and tokenization in general, right? Just this last week, they concluded the DigiCorp Labs ICO, and this week, you're gonna be able to buy the DGMV token on the LCX exchange, or Uniswap if you want, but on the LCX exchange, this week is open to everybody. So if you're an American citizen and you couldn't take part in the ICO, well, now you can take part, all right? It's a great conversation, and I think you're really gonna enjoy it. But before all that, let's have some fun and dive in. A couple people got in some trouble this week, folks. Guy named Dutch and Heather, old Dutch and Heather. And you know, everybody, I just don't get it. Heather had so many gifts. Heather is such a talented rapper. Why would they feel like they need to stoop to these levels to steal? You know what I mean? Like, have you seen Heather's rap video? She's so good. She's so good.
Menace to society.
Oh, Heather. Oh man, Heather, come on, Heather, you had such a bright future. So much talent, charisma, tonality, rhythm. Oh my God, that has got to be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. All right, it's almost suspicious how poorly they handled this. They just left the keys in the cloud, folks. They had a 120,000 Bitcoin, and they left the keys in the cloud. And guess who found them? It was the feds, and the feds got those Bitcoin back. Do you think the feds are going to give those back to Bitfinex? Do you think they're going to be like, hey, Bitty Finny, like, let's just like, hey, bro, you know, I know you got jacked. Yeah, this is what the Fed needs to do, is that now that they own 95,000 Bitcoin out of the blue, they just like, you know, they got that little Ledger Nano X, and now they're rich, right? It's use it to help the economy, because that's a lot of money, folks. Come on, 3.6 billion? I mean, it's not that much. BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset manager, is now allowing their clients to trade in crypto. So basically, you're going to be able to borrow from BlackRock now. All of you big-time BlackRock investors are going to be able to borrow from BlackRock using your crypto as collateral. So this is a growing trend with larger institutions like Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs is big time in this city. They're all looking to crypto. Good on you, you big institutions. Get to manipulating it away. Let's just turn it into another thing that large institutions control. But thankfully, you know, things like Bitcoin are a little more transparent than all of the other things that happen in the financial world. All right, moving on. It's good news, I think. Do you guys think? What do you guys think about all these massive institutions getting into it? Like, these future ETFs are kind of a mess. Those aren't good for crypto, or they're certainly not good for the price of Bitcoin, because now it's just turning into another stocky thing. We need a spot ETF. That'd be better. Who buys? No sane person is buying a futures ETF. You would just buy Bitcoin. No, it's a trading tool for people to manipulate the market. Anyways. Okay, folks, big news. OnlyFans. OnlyFans is integrating NFT profile pictures. I think those are some profile pictures we can all get behind, folks. Sorry, I don't know. But yeah, you're seeing this, you know, following Twitter, NFT profile pics. You know, OnlyFans last year got in some trouble. They're like, no, man, we can't do any of that, you know, scandalous stuff anymore. And everyone was like, what? And then they're like, just kidding. We will. You got YouTube. YouTube is exploring NFTs and how creators can monetize that and bring more value to their creators with integrating NFTs. You know, everybody's doing this, folks. Alfa Romeo said that they're gonna be the first ones to have NFTs for their cars, and which is gonna give you a complete history. If you choose to, you can opt into it and you'll have a complete history of everything that your car has ever been done, the sale price, all of the services, everything can be done on the blockchain, giving you a immutable record of your car, which could potentially bring a lot of value for buyers in the future. I think if we learned anything this week is if people that have $4 billion worth of Bitcoin in a wallet are stupid enough to have their private keys in the cloud, then I think that is a wake-up call for all of you guys. Take care of your private keys, okay? I see people all the time on Twitter so willing to input their keys in certain different apps and all of this stuff. Like, guys, be careful, man. Like, you're trusting too much, and it's just silly. It's just silly. And then another thing that we learned this week is if you can't rap, just because you stole a bunch of Bitcoin does not mean you should make a music video, all right? I had a great time talking to Monty from LCX. We had a great time talking about the DGMV token, the token launch. We talked about their diamonds, tokenization of diamonds. We talked about regulation. We talked about everything. So without further ado, here is my chat with Monty Metzger, the founder and CEO of the LCX Exchange.
3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody. I am here with Monty Metzger. He is the founder and CEO of LCX Exchange. How you doing, Monty?
I'm doing great, Cooper. I'm glad to be here on the DigiMetaverse Show. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. We're excited to have you. So there's a lot of exciting things happening over there at LCX, right? I mean, and I like, by the way, I like how you're standing up. I'm a little jealous of your standing up right now. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so look, so LCX and Monty Metzger, the founder and CEO. So can we have a little bit of a background? I know a lot of people already know you, but maybe give us a quick background on how you came to crypto and how you found your way to founding the LCX Exchange.
Well, at the core, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur by heart. I started my first company while I'd been in school in 1998. You know, this was the first internet hype, and I had been since then in the internet and digital business all over. So we looked at mobile payments, early 2000. We opened up an office in Japan to learn about mobile payments, QR codes, and all these things. So always had been at the forefront of technology innovation and digital innovation. And this is something which is throughout my whole career. I had been kind of the red line, always looking at what's the next big thing. So I founded a couple of companies. I did an exit also and started to become a business angel and investor, wanted to help other companies to succeed and work with founders. So in the past 5 years before doing LCX, I'd been doing exactly that. We did a venture capital fund. We invested in Silicon Valley companies in Nordics, in Europe, in Israel, and Asia, and trying to find and help these entrepreneurs to succeed. But early 2013, I already stumbled upon Bitcoin and crypto, and we did some early investments. But as a regulated fund, we always had been sidelined on that. We talked to the regulators and said, like, how can we invest as a regulated venture capital fund? But there was no way. So when 2017, the whole ICO hype and price of Bitcoin decreased, it was clear to me, now I have to look into it again. And I discovered a lot of regulatory projects and policies and guidelines into that area to actually make it possible to create a bridge between the old traditional world and the new blockchain innovation. And the moment I discovered Liechtenstein, I thought, well, their laws and their blockchain act is so outstanding that I actually have to stop everything else I'm doing and go all in 150%, jumping from the investor seat back in the entrepreneur seat and start my own company. So that's why we have the L in the name. That's why we're in Liechtenstein. And that's kind of the start of the whole journey of LCX.com.
So what is it about Liechtenstein that is and their laws that make it such a great place?
Well, for me, Liechtenstein is the most outstanding and future forward-looking regulatory framework at the moment for
Mhm.
blockchain and crypto companies, because it's not only regulating one piece of the puzzle, like an exchange license or something, but rather it goes alongside the whole value chain of blockchain and crypto, from token generation to identity services to exchange to token issuance, and therefore it's creating a legal framework which is lightweight but still gives all the security an entrepreneur, a company like LCX wants to have, but also our partners and clients wants to have. And that's, I would say, outstanding.
Mhm.
LCX is leveraging these regulatory frameworks at the moment, and we gained 8 regulatory approvals. That's more than any other company in the country. It took us 2 years and a few $1 million to actually get to that stage. And now we are growing rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm based out of the United States, and a big complaint here all the time is that there's not regulatory clarity, and it makes a lot of the big institutional players a little hesitant to enter. And I think they're starting to address that. I noticed that LCX is also making somewhat of an expansion into the United States. Am I correct about this?
It's right.
Yeah.
So the North American market and United States is super important for every entrepreneur and every company.
Hmm.
But I think it's the days of the Silicon Valley and the centralized technology hubs is over. It's now
Yeah.
also very much decentralized. And
Yeah.
actually, here in Crypto Valley in Europe, there's a lot of things happening. Now there are in Liechtenstein, and then next door there's Zug in Switzerland. There are
Hmm.
more than 1,000 companies, and among them are Ethereum Foundation, Tezos Foundation, and Concordium, LCX, and so on. So there are large players out there,
Hmm.
and they have chosen to be not in Silicon Valley and not in the United States. And there are a couple of reasons for this.
Of course. And so, yeah, I mean, talking about this space and getting involved, you see Australia is also a place where there's a lot of activity. And even in the United States, you talk about Silicon Valley, but it's like Wyoming, Austin, Miami. It's like it's definitely spreading out to a bunch of different places. And that's for many different reasons. And also, COVID and us all kind of getting used to communicating each other from far distances. All right. So okay. So there's also something called the Liechtenstein Protocol. Now, that's I think you kind of were just talking about that, and that do you want to just kind of let us know exactly what that is, or is that what you were just actually talking about?
Well, the Liechtenstein protocol goes far beyond. It's more
Yeah,
about our overall vision of LCX.
got it.
So we see that the future will be tokenized. So
Hmm.
everything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. Some things probably won't make sense, like tokenizing expensive wine bottles or so. You can question that. But every financial asset will be represented on a distributed ledger technology at some point, whether it's blockchain or something similar. But it's just a natural evolution of technology, and that's what I've seen throughout my career, is that there are like technology driven trends,
Hmm.
and then there are like social and human behaviors which need to overcome. And in this category we see that technology is there. It is much smarter, better, more efficient, and very global internationally. And but there's still barriers to be overcome, whether it's legal barriers, regulatory barriers, or even just human behavior, that like,
Hmm.
why should I use this? It works with letters and paper as well. Um, but I do see blockchain is to the money as email was to the letter. So
Right.
blockchain technology is the introduction of a new technology, and it's very similar to the introduction of email back in the days, because of course letter works, paper letters, but now everybody knows how history has taught us that the evolution is there and you can't stop it. And that's something which is, we now see that there's an evolution of digital money.
Hmm.
Every money will be digitalized. I assume also at some point it will be even illegal to hold paper notes anymore, or offline money. So everything that can be digitalized and tokenized will be put into a token, and that's the overall vision of LCX. And the
Right.
Liechtenstein protocol plays a tremendous important part of it, because it is the underlying structure and framework on the blockchain to enable compliant security token offerings and digitalized securities on the blockchain. So that's why we created this Liechtenstein protocol, which enables compliant enforcement on token level and on blockchain as well, making it kind of regulatory compliant. So we are playing with the old rules, but still using this technology in a very compliant and innovative way. And that's why we have published the Liechtenstein Protocol white paper, and we've announced partnership with Hedera Hashgraph and Polkadot to actually bring it to other blockchain technologies as well. And it's at the core of what we do. And we see that the future of digitalized and tokenized assets is a long-term vision. So it's something where we constantly invest, and probably in 5 to 10 years, we want to be not only the pioneer, but also leading the space overall.
Yeah, when I hear like a future where paper money may be illegal, it just what that immediately makes me think is, oh man, that just also is a case for why decentralization is so important. And and blockchain is at its essence, and what things like Bitcoin and everything are truly decentralized, but you don't want that single point of failure or one regime being able to just cut off your money and stuff like that. It can be frightening for some folks, I'm sure. Yeah,
Absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay. So look, you have basically a launch pad. So you were able to do these token sales in a fully regulated way. And that has to be very desirable for a lot of projects, I can imagine. Here at the DigiMetaverse Show, we are very excited and interested about DigiCorp Labs and their DGMV token, which there has been a sale ongoing, which just recently concluded. And how did that sale go? And this was this LCX's first launch?
So it was for sure the biggest we've done so far.
Right.
So at LCX, at our token launchpad and token manager, we've conducted the DigiMetaverse token sale, the DGMV token sale. So all the details will be announced shortly around how the sale had been done. But in general, it was a tremendous success already from our side. There had been tens of thousands of people signing up on our platform. And the unique thing really is that this is a token sale platform which is fully compliant under the Liechtenstein Blockchain Act, which means that LCX is acting as the token issuer on behalf of DigiCorp Labs, taking all the hustle and pain out of the process. And we are also taking the liability and the risk if there's anything being wrong. It's our fault. So the DigiMetaverse team and DigiCorp Labs, they can fully focus on their product and on the community and on what they're building, and don't have to worry about any lawsuits on like doing things wrong with the initial token offering. And that's a key milestone possible now as we leverage our role as the so-called token issuer.
Got it. And so, I mean, I hate to do this again, but bringing up the United States, because yes, I am located here. I know there's been a lot of US investors kind of on the sidelines, and which they always are with these token launches because of the lack of clarity that we discussed earlier. But they've been kind of watching the DGMV token sale and probably hoping that they could dive in, and they haven't been able to. But now that the sale is complete, are we going to be able to take part now? What's going on?
Yeah, there's two things I want to tell you about this. So first of all, for all the US traders, the DGMV token will be listed on February 16th at LCX Exchange and at Uniswap. And at both places, US citizens will be able to trade immediately. So you can buy DGMV token there. For LCX, you need to go through a KYC process, but it's possible with driver's license or passport or whatever you have in US. And it's probably takes a minute or so to go through it. And then on Uniswap, you can use your non-custodial wallets to trade there as well. And the DigiCorp lab will set up the initial pools to get started trading with it. So that's number one. And then number two, in terms of US and the token sale structure as a whole, we've now seen that there are two main categories of token sales happening. One is the so-called initial DEX offerings. So these are fully unregulated offerings where some projects raise 250,000 to a few million or something like that, like smaller amounts in a fully unregulated manner. So there's no KYC, there's no terms. And also at the end of the day, a lot of fraud is happening. People are mingled or like pushed into different smart contracts or token contracts which are wrong, and they lose funds, or like there's a lot of intransparency. So that's something where we as a regulated token issuer take care of, that there's basic investor protection as similar as if you would go to a bank and subscribe for a bond, a fund, or anything like that.
Right.
And then there's a second category, which are launch pads. So we've seen CoinList, for example, doing major token sales. But what they do is also, they don't comply with any law, but exclude the US completely. And then say, like, we're a Cayman company offshore and some rules apply, but it's also very vague. And so that's a key problem in the industry, that there's no investor protection and no clarity for them. So if you're a token investor at LCX and been investing in DGMV, you have clarity. So first of all, there's an address, so you can mail us if there are any problems. There's a court which has to take these things serious, because it's in the law with the Blockchain Act, that there's the role of a token issuer, there's the company behind and everything. So this gives legal clarity and is a big step forward in terms of transparency, because it also creates trust on both levels. So for the company, DigiCorp Labs, who does this, can make sure that we do this, we take it seriously, and we do this in a compliant manner. And then for us also as a platform, it kind of creates a framework where we act under this legal framework. And for all the investors, it gives them security and trust. You know, there's no possibility of a rug pull or like running away with the funds or any other kind of fraud or scam. That's all excluded. The only possibility is it's a startup and it might fail. So this is like a normal investment as you would do in any early stage startup. But I think the big opportunity here with the DGMV token is their platform and the products are ready to be rolled out. It's the right time to get started and invest. And their vision with the DigiMetaverse is so broad that like you just give them a little time, and I've met the team and everything, so I have all the trust there that this will be a huge success over the next coming years. So that's why we've done the due diligence. I know who's behind. It's fully transparent. You're doing this great DigiMetaverse show to give all the insights, and I think that's the right way to do it. And we want to see more of these projects in the market, because credibility and trust and reliability is important for the industry as a whole.
Well, and I think you bring up a very important point with a lot of these different offerings and tokens, and with so many of them coming out, so often you don't know who's behind it. You don't know, you have to trust so much that these people that aren't even, they don't have their names online. You're just kind of throwing your money into a pool and hoping for the best in a lot of these circumstances. So the fact that, on LCX, you have all of these legal frameworks, and like you said, an address and all of that, and the team, and they are fully doxed and all that stuff. It's a huge step forward to a lot of these other things. I wanted to actually, because you brought it up, and it's interesting to me, and I think maybe it'll be interesting to the audience just to maybe understand this better. So yes, there's an IDO, which is an initial DEX offering. And, my experience with all of these is that they don't make them available to US citizens. I guess it's just basically, even an IDO, they're just like, no. And is that just because people are just like, we don't we don't want to be shut down. I mean, we don't know, and so we're just going to leave you out. Is that why? Because you would think an IDO wouldn't actually matter, but
Well, there's a certain legal risk for every project who does this.
yeah,
And a key element to it is that you have to identify all your investors who are purchasing it. And if you're
yeah,
doing an initial DEX offering, it is platform based. So you say hands off, basically. Well, it's just a protocol handling it. But at the end of the day, it's a company offering tokens and they get the
yeah,
funds. So whatever platform is behind, it's the process. And there, we are complying with it because we are doing the KYC and the investor onboarding and investor identification.
right. Are there is this unique to you, these fully regulated token launches, or do you see other large exchanges doing similar things?
We are unique worldwide with the
Hmm.
token launchpad, which we have in place right now. And that the reason is that Liechtenstein is unique with the regulatory framework. There's
Hmm.
no other country in the world who has defined a token issuer as a legal role and defined certain rules and regulatory framework for it. And
Hmm.
that's why there's only one country in the world where you could get these roles at the moment. And with the
Right.
token launchpad, we're completely unique.
Got it.
What we do see is that the serious players want regulation. You know, Coinbase, Kraken,
Hmm.
and even other token launchpads are trying to comply. So, but there are no real rules and there are no laws. So that's why what they do is they try to comply with old other rules and say, okay, let's treat it like it would be this form of offering. And then
Right.
they're trying to fit into some old rules, but it doesn't work. You know, crypto is different. There's so many other things where you can't really apply. So that's why Kraken filed for the bank charter and they got the bank charter. Coinbase has done a lot of licensing and they have a compliance team of 200 people or more. So they're trying everything, but US market and US regulatory policies are years behind on a global level. And I think that's where the competitive advantage also is now in Europe at the moment in the heart of Crypto Valley.
Got it. So, okay. So if people, just to wind it up with our, to kind of sum it up with the DGMV token, if people want to purchase the DGMV token worldwide, they can on LCX or Uniswap. I mean, maybe they prefer not to use Uniswap for fee, for gas fees or whatever. And so they want to go to LCX. And so they can go through a quick KYC. They can attach their bank account, I'm assuming, and just get going, or yeah. And there you go.
So for all European-based
Mm-hmm.
users, you can connect your Euro bank account with a SEPA payment,
Mm-hmm.
even instant SEPA, so which would be booked within minutes.
Uh-huh.
And there's Euro gateway, and for the US, we recommend USDC, US dollar
Got it.
coin, or Ethereum, which is pretty quick to deposit and then buy DGMV
Right.
token.
So gotcha. So go to Coinbase, get your USDC, send it over to LCX is the best idea, or wherever you're going to buy your USDC. Okay. Um, Sounds good. By the way, do you see? I know that you know the DigiCorp Labs team well. Do you see some of the things that they're providing that maybe LCX could adopt in the future, or some of that secure login stuff and all the different solutions? Do you has there been conversations about that, or do you foresee any kind of possible collaboration in the future?
Absolutely. I think the core unique thing about DigiCorp Labs is the combination of DigiByte as the history, being the pioneers in 2014, knowing how the industry works. You know, there are no newbies there. They've pioneered the industry since many years,
Hmm.
but now they're targeting the B2B side of things. So these large players, and I heard some rumors about some big companies. I don't know if they're announced yet, so I don't want to mention it, but these players where DigiCorp Labs have signed up and will announce or have announced um, are really needing blockchain technology to innovate.
Hmm.
That's why the whole space is also super interesting for us. Like, we are growing as a company, and we will need probably one or several of the services which are offered by DigiCorp Labs as well. And obviously, with the close connection, it totally makes sense for us to embrace them as well.
Awesome. Okay, so so last month there was a bit of an exploit on LCX. I mean, we have seen it in the crypto community. We're almost used to it. It's old news at this point. I'm sure people have forgotten about it. So sorry that I'm bringing it up. But there was crypto.com, and then we had the wormhole hack from Solana to Ethereum, which was massive. I think it was like $1/3 trillion. And so maybe just real quick, you could break down kind of what happened on LCX and what you guys have done to make sure it doesn't happen again, or.
Yes. So basically, there was a security incident. That's right. We within minutes, we also disclosed it to our community. Luckily, it was only a small percentage of assets which had been affected, in particular one wallet. And we have a larger wallet infrastructure, and there was one security leak. We also investigated it, so we know the reasons for it, and then handed over all our reports to the police and other authorities to investigate. We also know most likely where the funds are, so there's a recovery process, and we'll see where this stands. Nevertheless, for our users, there's no loss or anything for our users to be worried about. We have recovered all the funds, and they're actually there was one good timing for us, because the incident happened, and in a week or days later, the whole crypto market tumbled and went down. So we bought back a couple of funds, but at a 50% discount or even more. So,
so there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course it's painful, because obviously we have to take it out of our cash flow to recover some of these funds. But for all our users, it's safe. And it's also like the key result is it's not an incident on our servers, on our platform, or on our blockchain systems or something. There's some different reasons for it. So our platform is safe and secure, and that's something which we found out. But the particular wallet was used in a very initial early product from 2019. And there had been things which had not been updated. So we basically can analyze it, that our whole system is secure. But these things happen. I think it's the early days still of the new digital financial world. So I also spoke with the CEO of Bitmart a couple of days after our incident. They got a hack of over $200 million. I spoke with Mike, the CEO of Liquid. They got hacked of over $90 million. So our 5 million seems to be tiny compared to them.
It was only 5 million.
Yeah. And I spoke with them and said, and what did you do? What are the steps taken? And they shared a lot of their insights, which was super helpful. And so I think the industry also helps each other. That's what we also saw. The community had been super active, looking for where the funds are going and these things. So I think the overall blockchain industry brings much more transparency than in any other financial industry before. With bank accounts, you don't really know.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear that you were able to buy the dip. LCX bought the dip and you were fine. Just like, that's funny. And I mean, when you say 5 million, it's funny how desensitized I am to, amounts of money. And I'm like, $5 million, whatever. Like at that point, I mean, the wormhole hack was 300 and something million dollars. So, all right. So it could have been worse, but it was a LCX wallet, an early wallet that you guys had from early on. That's what it was?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on from that. So, okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I've snooping on your Twitter, not snooping, but just looking and seeing, you guys are tokenizing diamonds. I think it's Timons, right? Or Timons. So, I mean, I've heard of this in the past, and obviously tokenizing gold and things like that. So what exactly are you guys doing with diamonds?
So we have created a new project called Timons, which stands for tokenized diamonds. And we're taking real world diamonds and creating NFTs for it. So one diamond is one NFT.
Yeah.
And we're now doing the first initial drop, which is 100 diamonds. Half of them will be auctioned off, and the other half will be sold as a fixed price on our platform. And for this, we've created a whole new NFT marketplace and platform. And that has been in development of over 8 months now, or 10 months almost. So we've basically rebuilt OpenSea. And now we have our own little OpenSea NFT platform. And the first thing we do is launching tokenized asset and asset-backed NFTs, where we see that's the biggest value now and the kind of missing piece in the market.
Well, I can
So
imagine
these are the diamond NFTs.
Right. And I can imagine diamonds are perfect for that because there's so many different statistics when it comes. There's clarity, there's so many different grades. So having that all documented in your NFT would be very useful, I would imagine.
That's right. First of all, the asset class of a diamond is super attractive. There are clear rules, there are certificates. So we are also relying, I'm not a diamond expert, so I'm relying on the GIA certificate, which is from the American Gems Institute. And they have analyzed this particular diamond, and they've given us this certificate saying, like, this is the special type, this is the cut, this is the carat, and so on, and the clarity. So these are the kind of key parameters there. But the diamond market itself is super intransparent. And the price you pay in your shop to buy a diamond ring compared to the markets there, which are very intransparent, is tremendous difference. So the spread, as a trader would say, is huge between buying, selling, and also is very illiquid. Like, even if you have 50 diamonds, what do? Like, where to sell it? It's not that liquid. But the asset class itself is super attractive. So why not create a token and make it tradable? That was our initial thought.
Right. So what you will see, well, a couple of questions about this. So for one, so if you have an NFT for a diamond, are you able to redeem that NFT for a real world diamond? Is that how it is? Is one-to-one backed by an actual diamond in a vault?
That's right. We have integrated the legal redemption option. So if somebody wants to get a diamond, there's a possibility to burn the NFT token and then to get the diamond. But obviously that would be stupid if I would say, like, if you want to get a diamond, you can also buy it. It would I think be a backstep in overall. So we've legally integrated it also to give the security. So at some point, I don't know, NFTs are not a thing anymore. Then there's the function, and it's live for over kind of the life cycle of the token. So I don't know, I'm talking about the next 50 years or so. There's this legal right to redeem the diamond. All our diamonds are put into a high security vault in Liechtenstein. So this is a facility like you imagine out of the James Bond movies. So with like 4 people guiding you in, different signature levels, different doors and to open, and with walkie-talkies they guide you through and everything. It's really a bunker. Yeah. So and this is outside of the banking system, so it cannot be seized. It's also not, the diamonds are not owned by LCX. It's really owned by the token holders. So even if LCX would go bankrupt or in any worst case scenario, it is not part of our funds. And it's not part of the banking system, I think, also important to say. And they're fully insured. So if this bunker type of security place would be fully burned or destroyed or something, there's a full insurance covering the diamonds.
And so, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sure. I was just going to say, so with this also gives, like you were saying, that the spread, for example, of a diamond is wild. I mean, what I go buy at the store and the journey of that diamond, I'm paying so much more than where it started, and the poor people that are risking their lives to get them and everything like that. So is this going to help with transparency? So I'm going to be able to see the price history of a diamond and I'll know. And then is the idea possibly that this type of tokenization of diamonds is going to bring more transparency and honesty to the entire diamond market? Is that kind of part of the plan here?
That's right. That's the opportunity there. So basically, every diamond which is out there could be put on the blockchain as well, and even the ownership of it. So that's kind of enabling global diamond trading markets, and not only for institutional investors or professionals, but really for retail. So you could see diamond as a new investment class.
Right.
And around tokenization and diamond markets and enabling new asset-backed tradable assets, I think there's a huge opportunity for education and educating retail users about the opportunities around it.
Right.
And that's why we integrated another super exciting feature. And actually, our community is more exciting about that than the actual diamond NFTs. So the Diamond project consists of two tokens: the Diamond NFTs, which are the real world backed diamonds. And then there's a second token called the TIA token, TIA token.
Okay.
And this is a kind of gamified approach. So the TIA token is a governance token and utility token of the Diamonds project.
Right.
And every owner of the real world diamond NFT, the Diamond NFT, will get 1 million TIA tokens over 1 million minutes. So it's an own to earn model. So we don't sell the TIA token. You can only earn it by owning the diamond. And then what do you do with the TIA token? You can participate in votings for our governance for a platform like Next Drops, Next Paramedics, token economics, and things like that. But on top of that, if you have diamond hands, then you will be granted with rewards. So everybody who has weak hands and is selling off will be punished with a 10% fee, which is an on-chain transaction fee, which is taken from the funds immediately. And then part of it will be redistributed to all other TIA token holders who have diamond hands and holding it.
I love it.
So this is in every on-chain transaction. So if I'm sending you 100 TIA tokens, you will actually receive 90. 10 will be taken by the smart contract. Parts will be burned, so it's deflationary, and parts will be automatically distributed to all other token holders. And so this is our gamified approach around it. And my thesis around it, like we will launch it now on February 22nd, 2022. So you still have a couple of days to sign up. Go to diamonds.com and read all the details. But my assumption is that the TIA token will actually create much more buzz. It's like the meme, the next meme coin, the next Dogecoin, the next.
Well, I love it. I mean, you got the diamond hands.
There will be hype around it. But what we want to achieve is that people will ask, okay, what is the project all about? And what is tokenization? What are asset-backed token? Why did we create the Diamond NFTs? Because these things are probably not as exciting. You know, if you look at the current crypto markets, where is the money? It's in these next meme coins. It's in the next ship and the Doge coins of the world and so on. So that's where a lot of like retail investors go in. And we want to combine kind of the fun aspect of there's this new meme coin TIA where you get rewards if you have diamond hands. But we want to educate the people about the real thing, the diamonds.
Well, and there's with these NFTs, and now you have your own marketplace on LCX. There are the the fun things, the characters and the artwork and all of that. But really, and where we're headed is things like diamonds and precious metals and real estate and and fractionalizing ownership of a lot of things. So I'm assuming you don't need to buy the entire diamond. You can buy a piece of a diamond too, right? Are the NFTs fractionalized?
At the moment, it's one NFT is one diamond.
Got it.
But
because
your thinking is right. Yeah. So our vision is to create tokenized, fractionalized assets as well. So this could be like precious gems as well, like larger diamonds, but also it could be real estate. It could be the old Picasso. But our vision is really about creating an asset-backed tokens rather than just fancy JPEGs, which are just hyped I don't see that there's like a real value behind it. So that's why we have decided to go that path of digitalizing real world assets.
Yeah.
And real estate market is perfect for it, but it's complicated, and the projects who are currently out there have not been successful. So I think the industry is on the search of finding the golden key for this unlocking the asset class, and it probably will take a couple of years until we get there. But what is for sure is it will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, and I could see how with the idea that you need to have the diamond one-to-one backed with the NFT, that it's a little more complicated to fractionalize it at some point. I mean, I guess the owner of an NFT could then fractionalize ownership of that. There
Yeah.
could be a couple of steps, right? Oh, and then okay, so as we're winding down here, I also, exploring your website. I mean, you have a lot of great things happening over there for sure. And I saw you have a DEX aggregator. I think it's called Fire Salamander. Am I right about that? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that looks great. So this is a way for people to participate in DeFi in a very kind of user-friendly way. You can check out swaps on different DEXs and stuff like that, kind of find the best price and all that. Is that how this is working? Maybe you can break that down for us real quick.
That's right. So the Fire Salamander product is available at defi.lcx.com. So it's our DeFi product, and it started out as a kind of a crazy idea and kind of an initial project where we said, can we build something at that? And within 3 to 5 days, we had a first prototype, and then launched it 2 weeks later as a first initial product where we said, users need an aggregation of different DEXs. So we have Uniswap, Sushi, and all different kind of decentralized exchanges. But as a trader, you always want the best price.
Yeah.
And you want to have the tools which you're used to, like a limit order. So when we started out, we were the first platform offering limit orders on Uniswap. That's how we started. And then out of this, we now increased it to a fully fledged DEX aggregator with limit order, but also with like normal trading functionalities. And what I'm personally very excited about, also the whole data framework around analyzing different metrics. So you can go into the data section of it. You can look into different prices on all different kind of DEXs and aggregate and see the prices there. But the smart algorithm really gives you always the best price. You can execute it and be sure that your trade will be swapped and happening at best market conditions.
So how does this work? So you just connect maybe your MetaMask wallet to this platform and go from there? Or does LCX, do you guys have a wallet that you've created?
At this point of time, it's a fully decentralized platform. So you connect your non-custodial wallet, like a MetaMask or something, and then you get started.
Got it. Well, I mean, oh, okay. Sorry. I keep on saying I'm going to finish, and then you also tokenize, speaking of tokenization, you tokenize the corporate bond, right? This is like, I saw you announce that recently, and this is just further proof that so much of these types of things are moving to blockchain technology. So you tokenize the corporate bond, and now people can sort of invest in this bond and get a return. And this is a raise for the LCX platform is how this is working.
We at LCX, we want to deliver more useful elements for our users, and there's a demand to get an interest on certain investments. So we've noticed that in the market, and there are few platforms who are offering similar services without regulation, ignoring most of the rules. We do see this as a digital security. That's why we have filed a tokenized bond prospectus. And what we've announced now is that we have filed it at the regulator. This will be then passported in different European countries after approval, and then we are able to launch it as a tokenized bond, as a digital security, so-called security token. So the token will be called LCXS1, and if you buy it, you will get 7% annual yield on your investment. and then there are certain rules apply, how to get the money back, and how to
certain
get
amount of
in and out. Yeah.
And so, yeah, a certain amount of time that you have to hold it and all of that in order to get that 7%.
But
Like a bond.
it's focused on euro. So it's basically, if you compare it to your bank account, where you probably get minus interest rates at the moment,
Yeah.
or around zero,
Yeah.
getting 7% on such a euro product is outstanding. And this is just the first step of us tokenizing more financial products.
Yeah.
And as I said, LCX is all about tokenization. So we believe in the future will be tokenized. And therefore, this is another step which we are taking in terms of our path around security tokens and regulated digital assets.
Yeah, I think most people can agree that a stable, secure investment that yields you 7% isn't a bad thing. I think that 7% is a great APY. I mean,
well, it's not as exciting as the TIA token, which is the crazy meme stuff, which we also do.
Yeah,
But I do agree. Like this is something which is very boring. It just gives you 7%, but it gives you 7%.
Yeah.
And it's not a promise, or maybe it is. There are contracts, there are liabilities to it, so this has to be paid. And they're like, it's a very, very secure way of putting your funds. So for every investor, it's good to diversify, and that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't an investment show, but every portfolio, it's always good to have very secure 7% as you get your TIAs and have your diamond hands and you do your Shiba and you do whatever else you're going to do. But it's always good to diversify with things that are secure. All right, Monty. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I hope this was okay. And I mean, I had a great time talking to you. And I feel like everybody has learned a lot about LCX, and they need to be watching out in the US for the DGMV token being listed on LCX on February 16th.
Perfect, Cooper. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
And I have to sum up. I have to say the DGMV token and the whole team at DigiCorp Labs have impressed me all over the teamwork so far. So it's a credible, reliable team, and they will change the future to the better. And I'm proud at LCX that we had been part of it, hosting the DGMV token sale. And now we get it listed on exchange, make it public for all the traders.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Excellent. Talk soon.
So thank you so much, Monty, for coming on to the show. That was a fantastic chat. I hope to do it again soon. Look, folks, if you're interested and you're located in the United States, now is your time. You can buy the DGMV token. So what you're going to do, like we said in the interview, specifically if you're located in the US, send some USDC to your LCX account, all right? And get ready to be able to buy the DGMV token. So yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, give us a comment, follow us on Twitter at the DigiMetaverse Show. And that's about it, everybody. I hope you had a great week. I hope you have a good week going forward. And yeah, all right, everybody, thank you for watching.